There comes a moment in every woman's life when her emotions rise like waves against the shore, when something deep within her begins to whisper, I want more. More love, more meaning, more connection, more truth. It's not always about a person. Sometimes it's about rediscovering the woman staring back at her in the mirror. There's an ache that grows in her chest, an energy that stirs quietly inside her, and though she can't explain it, she knows it's real. Society has often taught her to silence that voice, to tame that energy, to call it weakness. But that feeling inside her isn't wrong, it's powerful. It's not sin, it's sacred. It's not shameful, it's spiritual. When a woman feels that surge of energy, when her body and heart seem to be in sync and yet at war, she's not out of control. She's awakening. She's coming home to herself. When I say she's H.O.R.N.Y, I don't mean what the world has twisted it to mean. I mean she is hungry for love, overwhelmed by emotion, ready for connection, needing affection, and yearning for meaning. Each of these isn't lust. They're layers of her divine humanity unfolding. They're signals from her heart saying, it's time to feel again. When a woman is hungry for love, it's not desperation, it's divine desire. This hunger doesn't always come from loneliness. Sometimes it comes from wholeness. It's a longing to experience love that feels deep, honest, and pure. She's tired of pretending she doesn't care, tired of acting like she doesn't need anyone. She wants love that doesn't drain her but fills her. Love that doesn't break her but builds her. Love that sees her beyond her body, into her soul. But before she can find that kind of love, she must first feed herself. She must learn to sit alone at the table of her own soul and eat from the plate of self-respect. When she does that, she stops accepting crumbs from people who only want her light, but not her depth. She stops chasing affection and starts attracting alignment. She begins to realize that real love doesn't arrive when she's desperate. It arrives when she's ready. And then her emotions begin to rise. When a woman feels deeply, she's told she's too emotional, too sensitive, too much. But those emotions are not her weakness. They are her superpower. When her heart opens, she feels everything magnified. A song can move her to tears. A sunset can make her heart swell. A single word can linger in her soul for days. It's not because she's fragile. It's because she's alive. Her emotions are her language. They speak where words fail. Every emotion carries wisdom. Sadness tells her to release. Anger tells her to protect herself. Joy reminds her she's in alignment. Fear pushes her toward growth. When she starts listening to her feelings instead of burying them, she becomes emotionally intelligent. She can cry without losing her strength. She can feel pain without losing her purpose. That's what makes her extraordinary, her ability to walk through fire and still radiate warmth. As she grows, her hunger for connection begins to deepen. She starts to crave something real, not attention, not temporary pleasure, but a bond that feels soul deep. Attention feeds the ego, but connection feeds the soul. She's no longer impressed by flattery, by charm, or by someone who only shows up in moments of convenience. She's looking for something that feels safe, something that feels like home. She starts to ask questions that reveal her growth. Does this person see my heart or just my body? Can they sit with my silence? Can they handle my truth? And slowly she realizes that the first connection she truly needs is with herself. Because once she connects with her own heart, her own body, her own divine energy, she doesn't chase anyone. She becomes magnetic. She becomes peace in motion. She becomes a woman who doesn't beg to be loved. She embodies love. And yes, even the strongest woman needs affection. Needing affection doesn't make her weak. It makes her human. There's something powerful about touch, warmth, and closeness. A gentle hug, a tender word, a soft glance. They're reminders that she's alive, that she's worthy of tenderness. But not all affection is healing. Some affection leaves her empty because it's rooted in desire without depth. But the affection that heals her, it's the one that honors her, the one that respects her boundaries and her being, the one that sees her not for what she gives, but for who she is. When she feels that need rise, she learns to ask herself, what am I really craving? Is it comfort or connection? Is it physical or emotional? Sometimes the answer surprises her because often what she truly needs isn't someone else's arms, but her own. The moment she learns to hold herself through her loneliness, to whisper, I am safe, I am enough, I am loved, she becomes unstoppable. Because a woman who can comfort herself becomes untouchable by manipulation. She becomes her own calm in the storm. And as she evolves, a deeper desire begins to surface, a yearning for meaning. This is the phase where she outgrows the superficial. She begins to crave purpose more than pleasure, growth more than gossip, peace more than attention. She starts asking questions that echo in her heart. Why am I here? What legacy will I leave? What am I meant to do with this life? This yearning transforms her. It pushes her to heal, to create, to lead, to love differently. She starts to protect her energy because she realizes it's sacred. She invests in her dreams. She writes, she paints, she builds, she prays. She transforms her pain into power, her confusion into clarity, her wounds into wisdom. That yearning becomes her creative force, her divine fuel. Every woman who's ever created something beautiful has felt this. That holy ache that pushes her to birth new beginnings from broken places. When a woman embraces all these stages, when she allows herself to be hungry, emotional, connected, affectionate, and meaningful, she becomes whole. She no longer suppresses her desires or hides her emotions. She doesn't apologize for wanting depth or for needing love. She owns it. She stands tall in her truth, knowing that her desire is not dirty. It's divine. Her emotions are not chaos. They're creativity. Her hunger is not desperation. It's direction. She realizes that the energy within her isn't something to be ashamed of. It's the same sacred force that creates life, art, and change. She learns to channel that fire, to turn passion into purpose, emotion into wisdom, desire into destiny. The same energy that once made her restless now makes her radiant. The same feelings that once broke her now build her. The same yearning that once left her empty now makes her full. She becomes the kind of woman who no longer chases. She attracts. She no longer competes. She commands. She doesn't beg. She becomes. Her energy speaks before she does. Her presence heals without trying. She walks into a room and people feel peace. Not because she's loud, but because she's aligned. So, to every woman listening, don't ever apologize for your depth. Don't dull your passion to make others comfortable. Don't hide your feelings because they scare people who can't handle your fire. You are not too emotional. You are not too much. You are not needy. You are human. You are powerful. You are sacred. Your desire is divine. Your heart is holy. Your emotions are your compass. Let them guide you. Let them teach you. Let them remind you that being alive means feeling deeply. When you feed your soul, when you give yourself the love, attention, affection, and meaning you've always longed for, you stop searching outside. You stop begging for validation. You stop waiting to be chosen because you realize you were the one you were waiting for. You become whole. You become love. You become light. And in that wholeness, everything you once chased begins to find its way to you. Love, peace, opportunity, abundance, purpose. Not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. So the next time your emotions rise like a storm, don't push them away. Don't label yourself as crazy or needy. Smile instead, because you are awakening. You are alive. You are feeling the sacred fire within you. You are hungry for love, overwhelmed by emotion, ready for connection, needing affection, and yearning for meaning. You are H.O.R.N.Y in the most divine, spiritual, powerful way possible. You are not broken. You are blooming. You are not needy. You are nurturing your heart. You are not too much. You are exactly enough. You are the fire and the calm, the ache and the answer, the passion and the peace. You are a masterpiece in progress. You are the storm and the stillness. You are everything you've ever needed and more. And as she stands there at the crossroads of her own becoming, something inside her begins to shift. She starts to remember who she truly is beneath the expectations, beneath the heartbreak, beneath the noise. She remembers the little girl she once was, the one who used to dream fearlessly, love freely, and believe in magic without needing proof. She realizes that she has spent years trying to be strong, trying to be perfect, trying to be enough for everyone else, while forgetting that she was already enough for herself. She begins to understand that real strength isn't about pretending not to feel. It's about feeling everything and still choosing to rise. She starts to love her scars, not hide them. She starts to look at her body with gratitude, not judgment. She starts to see her tears not as signs of weakness, but as evidence that she's alive, healing, and still capable of love. She begins to release the guilt for wanting more, more connection, more love, more touch, more truth. She realizes that desire is not something to suppress, it's something to honor. Her desire is the compass of her soul. It's what pushes her to grow, to evolve, to create. She begins to walk differently, not because the world changed, but because she did. There's a quiet confidence in her steps now, a peace that doesn't need to prove anything. She doesn't chase validation anymore. She embodies it. She doesn't wait for someone to choose her, she chooses herself. She doesn't hide her sensitivity, she celebrates it. She no longer asks, "Am I enough?" Because she finally knows deep in her bones, I am. And when a woman reaches that point, that sacred place of wholeness, she becomes a force of nature. She loves differently. She dreams differently. She moves differently. She no longer operates from lack. She moves from overflow. She's no longer trying to fill a void. She's expanding her light. She gives without losing herself. She helps without burning out. She listens without absorbing other people's pain. She sets boundaries not from fear, but from self-respect. Her life becomes poetry. Her days become prayer. Her presence becomes medicine. She becomes the living proof that it's possible to be both soft and strong, both emotional and empowered, both loving and unshakable. She becomes a walking example of what it looks like to rise from the ashes, graceful, grounded, and glowing. And yet, she still has moments when she feels that hunger again, that wave of emotion, that ache for touch, that yearning for something deeper. But this time, she doesn't run from it. She smiles because she knows what it means now. It's not emptiness. It's expansion. It's not loneliness. It's longing for truth. It's not lust. It's life reminding her that she's still alive, still capable of feeling, still in tune with her own divine essence. She lets that energy flow through her, fueling her dreams, her art, her prayers, her purpose. She uses that passion not to seek, but to create. She starts turning her desires into art, her emotions into strength, her pain into lessons. She becomes a living temple of transformation. She turns her heartbreak into healing, her confusion into clarity, her silence into wisdom. And people begin to notice, not because she's loud or glamorous, but because she carries something rare: authenticity. Her energy speaks before she does. Her peace fills every space she walks into. Her presence feels like sunlight after a storm. And now she knows. She was never just craving love. She was craving herself, the version of her that is whole, worthy, wild, and free. The woman who doesn't need permission to be powerful. The woman who doesn't wait for life to begin. She creates it. The woman who knows that she is both the storm and the calm after it. She finally understands that everything she was looking for was never outside. It was always within. So, to every woman listening to this, wherever you are, whatever you've been through, breathe. Let this moment remind you that you are not broken. You are blooming. You are not behind. You are becoming. You are not too emotional, too sensitive, too passionate. You are perfectly designed that way. Your heart was built to feel deeply. Your soul was built to love fully. Your spirit was built to rise endlessly. Don't silence your hunger. Don't shame your emotions. Don't apologize for your depth. You are not asking for too much. You are asking the wrong people for what you already carry within you. Feed your soul first. Nurture your heart. Listen to your body. Honor your truth. Celebrate your sensitivity. Because the moment you begin to honor yourself, the world around you begins to shift. You attract differently. You love differently. You live differently. You no longer chase what is meant for you. You align with it. You no longer beg for love. You radiate it. You no longer fear the unknown. You dance with it. You become the kind of woman who no longer needs to be understood by everyone because she finally understands herself. You become magnetic, not because you try, but because you're real. You become beautiful, not because of how you look, but because of how you feel. You become powerful, not because of what you control, but because of what you've released. So when that familiar fire rises inside you again, that hunger, that emotion, that need, that yearning, don't call it a weakness. Don't try to push it away. Smile, because it means your heart is still open. It means your soul is still alive. It means you still believe in love, in life, in meaning. It means you're still growing. And that, my sister, is something to celebrate. You are not here to hide your light. You are here to embody it. You are not here to tone down your passion. You are here to unleash it. You are not here to suppress your desires. You are here to transform them into purpose. You are not here to beg for love. You are here to become it. You are the woman who turns pain into poetry, wounds into wisdom, loneliness into love. You are the woman who remembers that her emotions are not her enemy. They are her evolution. So rise, love yourself with the same intensity you once used to chase others. Hold yourself the way you wished others would have. Speak your truth even if your voice trembles. Feel everything. And then rise again, because this is what it means to be a woman. To feel deeply, to love fearlessly, to fall and still rise beautifully. You are H.O.R.N.Y, hungry for love, overwhelmed by emotion, ready for connection, needing affection, and yearning for meaning. You are the definition of divine power wrapped in human softness. You are not too much. You are miraculous. You are not too emotional. You are alive. You are not asking for too much. You are finally asking for what you deserve. And from this day forward, you don't chase love. You become love. You don't look for meaning. You create it. You don't wait for life to happen. You live it, because the woman who understands her hunger, who honors her emotion, who cherishes her affection, who embraces her connection, and who follows her yearning, is the woman who finally becomes whole. And when a woman becomes whole, she doesn't just change her life. She changes the world around her. You are that woman. You always were. And when she finally learns to sit with herself in silence, something magical happens. She begins to feel her own heartbeat differently, not as a rhythm of survival, but as a melody of purpose. She hears her breath and realizes that every inhale is a reminder that she is still here, chosen, guided, and destined. Every heartbeat whispers, you still have time. You still have meaning. You still have magic. The woman she was, the one who doubted, begged, and broke, begins to dissolve, and from her ashes rises a woman who no longer seeks permission to be powerful. She no longer hides behind fear or shame. She no longer asks the world to validate her worth. She looks in the mirror, and for the first time, she sees herself not through the lens of who hurt her, but through the eyes of the woman she was meant to become. She forgives herself for staying too long, for loving too deeply, for losing herself in someone else's story. She forgives the version of her that thought she needed to be smaller to be loved. She forgives the girl who accepted less because she didn't yet know her value, and in that moment of forgiveness, she becomes free. Freedom doesn't come when everything is perfect. It comes when you decide that your peace is worth more than your past. It comes when you choose yourself without guilt, when you stop asking, why me, and start whispering, thank you. Because even the pain had a purpose. Even the heartbreak was a teacher. Even the loneliness was sacred. Every experience that broke her was secretly building her. Every closed door was redirecting her toward herself. She realizes now that every time she felt that wild emotion inside her, that burning desire, that ache in her chest, it was never about a person. It was about her soul trying to wake her up. It was the universe whispering, "Remember who you are." Every emotion she once feared was actually a divine messenger guiding her home to her truth. And now she honors that truth. She starts walking differently through life, slower, softer, more aware. She no longer rushes her healing. She doesn't need to prove anything to anyone anymore. She's no longer addicted to the noise. She's learning to find peace in her own presence. And she realizes this is what it means to be whole, not perfect, whole. Whole means you've accepted every part of yourself, the light, the dark, the pain, the pleasure, the mistakes, the lessons. Whole means you no longer run from your own reflection. Whole means you finally belong to yourself. She now knows that when she feels that wave of desire again, that deep, powerful, feminine energy rising inside, she doesn't need to silence it. She uses it. She channels it. She turns it into fuel for her dreams, fire for her goals, love for her purpose. She understands that desire isn't dirty. It's divine. It's not something to hide from. It's something to harness. Because when a woman learns to channel her emotions, her passion, her hunger, she becomes unstoppable. She starts creating, building, writing, speaking, moving with intention. Her energy becomes magnetic. Not because she's trying to impress, but because she's authentic. She doesn't need attention. She commands it through her presence. She doesn't seek validation. She radiates confidence. Her energy says, "I know who I am. I know what I carry. I know where I'm going." And that energy begins to attract everything that matches her frequency. Opportunities, love, peace, abundance. Not because she chases them, but because she has finally aligned with them. She has become the vibration of what she once prayed for. And this is what true manifestation looks like. Not wishing, not waiting, but becoming. And as she grows, she realizes the world didn't need her perfection. It needed her truth. It needed her rawness, her honesty, her tenderness, her voice. The world needed a woman who isn't afraid to say, "Yes, I feel. Yes, I desire. Yes, I want more. Yes, I am human." Because it's in her humanness that she finds her power. And now, she doesn't just inspire others by what she says. She inspires them by how she lives. She becomes living proof that healing is possible. She becomes a mirror for other women to see their own strength. She becomes a reminder that no matter how messy the process, transformation is always beautiful because she didn't just survive her pain, she transformed it into power. So, to every woman listening to this, hear me. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your heartbreaks. You are not the times you were misunderstood. You are the woman who rose from all of it. You are the woman who turned her wounds into wisdom. You are the woman who carries both softness and fire in her soul. You are the woman who learned to love herself when the world forgot how to. Never apologize for being emotional. Never shrink yourself for being passionate. Never hide your truth to make others comfortable. Your emotions are your compass. Your desires are your guide. Your love is your superpower. The world needs you, whole, open, alive, unapologetic. You are H.O.R.N.Y, hungry for growth, overwhelmed by life, ready to heal, needing connection and yearning for meaning. That is not weakness. That is divine energy. It is your reminder that you are still alive, still growing, still capable of becoming everything you were destined to be. So rise, beautiful woman. Rise for the little girl who once doubted her worth. Rise for the woman you are becoming. Rise for the generations after you who will look at you and see what's possible. Rise for every time you were told to be quiet, to shrink, to wait. No more waiting, no more hiding, no more apologizing. This is your time. Your heart is not a burden. It's your compass. Your emotions are not a curse. They are your map. Your desire is not a sin. It's your spark. Let it lead you, guide you, ignite you. And when you walk into a room, let your energy whisper, she's not chasing anymore. She's creating. She's not waiting anymore. She's becoming. Because the truth is, the world doesn't need another perfect woman. It needs a real one. A woman who feels, who loves, who falls, who rises. A woman who turns her hunger into healing, her passion into power, her yearning into creation. A woman who embodies what it means to be whole. And that woman is you. You are the embodiment of divine fire and sacred love. You are the reflection of strength and softness. You are what it means to rise after breaking, to love after losing, to shine after shattering. You are living proof that no matter what tries to silence you, your light will always find a way to speak. So stand tall, speak your truth, love yourself wildly, live boldly, feel deeply, and never forget, you are not too much. You are exactly enough. You are everything, and the world is better because you exist.